Alright, let's talk about summer hairstyles, but not in the way you're probably expecting. Because honestly, when I first saw the list of these chic, low-maintenance cuts, I thought, great, another trend roundup. But then I started digging, and what I found was way more interesting than just a bunch of pretty pictures. It's about how we're redefining what effortless really means in 2026. Here's the thing. Summer hair used to be all about the beach waves, the endless braids, the high-maintenance glam. But now, there's this shift toward styles that look amazing but don't require you to spend hours in front of the mirror. Take the soft bixie, for example. It's this hybrid of a pixie and a bob. And what makes it really interesting is how it challenges the idea that short hair has to be either edgy or boring. Personally, I think this cut is a perfect example of how modern styling is blending masculinity and femininity in a way that feels fresh, not forced. What many people don't realize is that the bixie's softness comes from its ability to move naturally, which is a direct response to the overstyled looks of the past. Then there's the sleek micro bob, which I've seen everywhere lately. On paper, it sounds simple, a jaw-skimming cut with minimal layering. But what this really suggests is a bigger trend toward precision and intentionality in hair. It's not just about chopping it off. It's about creating a shape that works with your bone structure. In my opinion, this is where the line between high fashion and everyday wearability blurs. You're not sacrificing sophistication for convenience, which is a win-win. Now let's talk about the 90s bob, because this one's a throwback that's been modernized in the most subtle way. The blunt shape and flicked-out ends are nostalgic, sure, but the addition of a glossy finish and a slight side part, that's what makes it feel current. What's fascinating to me is how this style taps into our collective memory of the 90s while still feeling relevant. It's like we're taking the best parts of the past and leaving the rest behind. If you take a step back and think about it, this is how trends evolve, not by reinventing the wheel, but by refining what already works. One detail I find fascinating is the rise of the petite chignon. It's essentially a low bun, but the focus here is on the hair's health and shine, not the complexity of the style. This raises a deeper question. Are we prioritizing the appearance of effortlessness over actual effort? Because let's be real, achieving that glossy, polished look requires a solid hair care routine. From my perspective, this is where the conversation about low-maintenance styles gets complicated. They might look easy, but they often rely on good products and regular upkeep. The kicktail bob is another one that caught my eye. Those outturned ends? They're not just for show, they add volume and movement, especially for fine hair. What this really highlights is the importance of a good cut. When it's done right, you barely need to style it. This is something I wish more people understood. A great haircut can do 80% of the work for you. The other 20%? That's where your personal touch comes in, whether it's a bit of texture cream or a quick blow dry. Now, the messy French bob. This one's all about embracing natural texture, which is something I'm personally here for. It's not about fighting your hair's natural wave or curl. It's about enhancing it. What makes this really interesting is how it aligns with the broader movement towards self-acceptance and sustainability in beauty. If you think about it, the less heat styling you do, the healthier your hair stays, and the less energy you consume. It's a small change, but it adds up. The tousled lob is another style that's been making waves, and for good reason. It's versatile, easy to manage, and has this effortlessly chic vibe. But here's the thing. Achieving that I woke up like this look actually requires a bit of strategy. You need to keep the ends trimmed, use the right products, and maybe even add a few strategic waves. What many people don't realize is that even the most natural-looking styles often have a lot of thought behind them. Then there's the curly bob, which I think is one of the most underrated cuts out there. It's all about working with your natural curl pattern instead of against it. Personally, I love how this style celebrates texture in a way that feels authentic, not trendy. It's a reminder that not all hair needs to be straight or sleek to be beautiful. What this really suggests is a shift toward inclusivity in beauty standards, which is long overdue. The half-up, half-down style on a jaw-length bob? That's a masterclass in minimalism. It's simple, but it works. What's interesting here is how it plays with proportions. The side part adds volume. The blunt ends create structure. In my opinion, this is a style that's deceptively easy. It looks like you didn't try, but it's all about the details. Finally, the Italian bob. This one's a bit more high maintenance than the others. But it's worth mentioning because it's a perfect example of how layering and movement can transform a classic cut. What makes this really interesting is how it adapts to different hair types. Fine hair gets the illusion of thickness, while thicker hair gets some much-needed lightness. It's a style that's both versatile and specific, which is a tough balance to strike. So, what's the bigger takeaway here? I think it's this: low maintenance doesn't mean low effort. It's about finding styles that work with your natural hair, not against it. It's about using the right products and techniques to make your life easier, not harder. And most importantly, it's about redefining what it means to look put together. Because in 2026, effortless isn't about doing less. It's about doing less of the wrong things and more of what works for you. What do you think? Are you ready to embrace the low-maintenance trend, or is it just another buzzword? Let me know in the comments.